Alright, here in round one we have the choice. We're definitely playing first, and yeah, this looks like quite the hand. Relevant 1-drop, relevant 2-drop. Maybe we might actually play the Pegasus second turn. Just because the Snarecaster could get us through a cheap or an early blocker. Ooh, well, change plans. Now the Snarecaster looks sick against the 2-drop. And none yet. And no white source, unfortunately, but that's okay. So we're going to swing. We're not going to pump the Satyr. And we're going to drop a Pegasus. We're going to tap down as soon as he plays a creature. And if he doesn't play a creature, we get double pumps on Satyr, which is also good. There we go. There's a Vigilance guy. I've got a plan for him. Perfect. Alright, so slam this. Tap this dude. Guess I would like to use that ability. Let's get in for some damage. And drop this thing. Got a Band Elder. He does gain some life. He's only got 2 toughness blockers, though, which is good news. Means we get to continue to swing in. Oh, I'll make that trade. Actually, let's trade off the Snarecaster. Surprised he offered the trade. That lets me decide which one I want to trade with instead of him. Oh. Well, don't mind if I do. Pump. And a bunch of damage. Alright. White blue. It's got some life gain. 2 toughness guys. Didn't play much. So what does that tell me? It doesn't tell me much. It tells me Glare's probably pretty good. So why don't we cut the Portent for now? Do the Glare instead. We already saw 2 white permanents. Yeah, everything else seems in line. Let's try it again. Assuming opponent is going first. And I don't really like this hand. Certainly don't want to play this guy on turn 1. This is good, but no other threats. I think we're going to try again. Yeah, this is a little bit better. Okay, opponent opens with Island. And we're going to open with the Plains, just in case we get our heroic guy off the top. If we don't, we'll definitely play a Mountain and get that Rambler out there. No 2-drop, that's good news. Ooh, Satyr, a turn late. That's alright. Still going to do the Rambler, it makes better use of the mana. Okay. There's an observant Alcid. So I think the plan is Satyr Glare. Could also... No, I think that's the right move. Set ourselves up for a Skull Cleaver. And we turn off the Lagana Band Elder, which is good. Yep, can't do anything about that. Hopefully we get a nice shot in with our Skull Cleaver. Looks like we are. Oh. Alrighty. Let's get in for some damage. Considering he already used his last breath, I feel pretty good. Unless he has 3. That'd be a lot of last breaths. Alright. Well, thankfully he used his last breaths on the other guys, and not what we've got right now. Okay. It's tolerable. Ooh, that was kind of a weak little draw there. Alright. Well, we're good on lands. Bolt is sorcery, so I don't need to play the mountain yet. Mnemonic Wall to get back Last Breath, or Excoriate? Excoriate, okay. Ooh, that works. Alright, let's, drop Snarecaster, tap the wall, get in for 2, and pass. See if he uses Excoriate on Reveler or not. It's got pretty good defense in its deck, I'll give him that. Double Last Breath and Excoriate. I guess Excoriate's not that great against us. I mean, it's good when you got a Mnemonic Wall, but in general, it's really not that great against us. In general, I think it's okay, but against us, generally, I would think it's not that good. Alright. Ooh. Well, I think we are going to kill the Mnemonic Wall. And we're also going to play the Vanguard. I guess I could save it for a more relevant creature. I mean, the thing is, Mnemonic Walls... I'd rather kill something that can actually kill my guys. So why don't we just play the Vanguard and pass? Let's be more conservative with this Bolt since it's our last card. Like, we could get a Dauntless Onslaught, and I'd much rather use that than the Bolt, for obvious reasons. No plays? That's interesting. That was a bad draw. I'm going to get in there. Alright. Can't do anything about that. So because of the bad draw, we're going to pass. Unfortunately, no more pressure to be offered onto the board. Looks like that mulligan hurt us quite a bit in the beginning in terms of speed. Alright, no life gain, so that's not a big deal. Alright, gotta bolt it. Sadly, really didn't want to have to do this, but we need to apparently scry since we're just getting a bunch of lands here. Alright, yeah, fine. Yeah, I guess we can leave that on top, since it hits him and... Okay. No plays. It's fascinating. Let's bestow here. Get a cat. Alright. A lot of defense. Okay. Interesting. Nice. It's a great draw. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's going to be pretty devastating. Foil, too, no less. That's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a tough one to beat. So now we're unfortunately in extreme defense mode here. Do I want to make that trade? It lets him draw. Now we've got a bunch of life to deal with. Let's just take it. All right. Do I have any outs whatsoever to a Master of Waves? I don't think I do. I do have the Scouring Sand whatever, so I can kill all those elemental tokens. Not in my deck, but sideboard, so I might bring that in. Terrible, terrible, terrible draw. The last thing I needed right now. I really needed some sort of pressure, but all the lands. Okay. Yeah, I actually don't know what to do besides sit back and just take a beating for a while. I mean, I guess we've got some defense, so it's not the end of the game, but I don't like where we're at anymore. Could use a flyer. That would help. Could use, that was terrible. Continuing the bad draws, unfortunately. Alright, looking for a flyer, looking for anything besides land. Yeah, that actually works. Well, let's see if it resolves. Oh, wait. Oh, it's red. That's right. Alright, so we gotta keep passing. This is a pretty lackluster game. A lot of chilling, a lot of lands. I've got 6 lands left in my deck. So close to less than a third of my deck is lands. Is that right? Okay. There we go. Start getting some guys. Philosopher's good once we find that Pegasus. This is a crazy game. There it is. Beautiful. And it resolved. It's good news. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yes. And continue to pass. We've at least got a means to get damage through, which is great news. And if he plays a flyer, we can attempt to Fall of the Hammer it. So that's more good news. Alright, deciding to go in, so let us do some blocking. Here, here, and here. Don't want him to draw cards, so we're willing to take 3. And I'm willing to throw a token away because they're not that important right now. That doesn't matter. That was a bad draw. Gonna get in for 3. And begin some beatings. Alright. Still have the Fall of the Hammer, if it gets to that point. Okay, I guess we'll eat this guy, and we'll eat this guy, and take 3 from the Band Elder. I just don't want him to draw any more cards. I feel like he's hunting for something, and I would prefer him not find it. Oh, it's kind of good, I guess. Can I do a devastating turn here? Snarecaster, tap that, swing here, here, here. Guess he could double block. He can block here. Could Snarecaster, tap Master, swing here, here, swing everything? That's not terrible. But he's got the Fate Foretold. Maybe we save the Snarecaster till we need it? If that makes sense. Trying to think if it's worth doing this or not. I think it is. I can tap the Master, swing with Team. And he has to do some interesting blocking. Guess it does give him a Fate Foretold, but alright, that's not super relevant. Got him on a 2-turn clock now. Let's see, if I were to fry his Floodtide Serpent, swing with team, he's got 2 blockers, block here, he takes 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is lethal. He's got 2 cards in hand. Let's just play the cautious route. I don't want to play around. Oh, there we go. How's that? That's ridiculous. Yeah, let's just go for the win here, huh? Alright, well, somehow managed to steal that match. I don't exactly know what our opponent seemed to have just... He had the early stuff, he had the master. I feel like he had the right idea, but it just wasn't really coming together for him that well. He just saw things out of order, perhaps, because I feel like we had an extremely slow start and still won it, so that's surprising to me. But I'm happy, so I'll see you round 2.